and welcome to our interview series on decoding offer shopping by OfferDecline. In today's session, once again, we will delve into one of the biggest challenges that organizations face during their hiring process and explore the promising solutions that can help mitigate this issue. I'm your host Deepthi, and I'm glad to have you join us today.
Hi, Deepthi.
Hi. Before we dive into the conversation, let me provide you with a brief overview of OfferDecline.com, our esteemed platform that aims to address the challenges of offer decline. As we all know, it can be disheartening for recruiters and organizations when candidates initially accept job offers but later decline them, which result in the substantial financial losses and wasted resources. OfferDecline has recognized this recurring problem and developed an innovative platform that empower organizations and recruiters to effectively deal with offer decline. Through our platform, recruiters can now share the crucial information about candidates who have previously declined offers, enabling them to make informed decisions before extending the new job offers. This invaluable resource allows recruiters to prevent potential candidates from taking them for a ride. By leveraging the power of information sharing, recruiters can save their valuable time and resources while greatly improving the overall efficiency of the recruitment process. OfferDecline serves as a collaborative space where recruiters can gather insights and enhance their decision-making process, ultimately leading to better outcomes for both recruiters and candidates. Today, we have the privilege of discussing this groundbreaking challenge with our esteemed guest, Mr. 𝗧 Jain, who is Talent Acquisition Head for APSC in India and Campus Lead at 𝗵cie𝗀𝗁𝗲. With his vast experience and expertise in the field, we are excited to gain the valuable insights into the challenges and potential solutions related to the candidate offer shopping. So, without further ado, let's jump into our discussion. Thank you, 𝗓, for joining us today. So before going into the discussion, please, I and our viewers are keen to know about your journey in the industry.
Sure. Thank you so much for giving such deep insights about offer decline, which is definitely, earlier it was more of sounded like a taboo. Now, definitely it's a need of the hour and people should think through, deep dive into it, and the kind of insights which you have, shared and the thought process which is going on. It will actually, help in the HR fraternity to think through and just get into the solutioning part of it. And that's very important because on the ground level, solutioning is very, very important. So I just thank you so much for inviting me to such a forum where we can just share our valuable insights to whatever we just go through on day-to-day basis, and wherever the mounting clock is just hounding on for the offer drop or an offer decline. So it just becomes a need of the hour. So I would definitely be very happy and excited to contribute in whatever it will be. So let's take the discussion ahead, and then let's take this ahead.
Thank you, 𝗓, for your kind words about the platform. Can we know a little bit more about you, about your journey and your overall experience, how your journey have been in the industry in the past 10 or 15 years or so?
Yeah, sure. So I started off, I'll be honest with you, from a BPO background. So that was way back in 1990s and early 2000, wherein these BPO jobs were quite exciting, wherein family members used to be so happy that we'll be getting a transport facility or maybe food facility and also that was so exciting in those times. And talking to people in US were really exciting and just fulfilling in their customer support needs. So it was good. So we just started off with that. And the real challenge started in when I joined in HCL as the campus lead for the entire North India domain. And I used to head a team of around 72 people. And earlier, I used to hire in for the BPO division that is called 𝗵𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃, right? The business division. Now, there we used to hire in for different projects into healthcare, life sciences, telecom, and all. And you can imagine in with that kind of mindset in those era where people used to get hired for fulfilling small needs, and the attrition ratio was so high. So let's say that we used to have the backlog of around 400 to 500 requirements in a month. And to fulfill that was again a real challenge, even fresher. Why? Because each and everything which would require and demanding it with high skill set of good communication skills and good understanding and good analytical skills. So these were really challenging things. So off and on, we used to face these kind of challenges of offer drop. So unfortunately, because of these offer drop, there used to be a lot of wastage of time, money, efforts, a lot of involvement into reaching and re-strategizing a lot of things. Because in those times, these things were not so prominent and people were not so vocal about it. They used to feel in that it is something natural, let's take it and let's sail through. So there at those when people used to feel to firefight and just to figure and come out of all these challenges. So, and then we just started elevating into technical hiring. Then, times changed and further and just moved. And then I joined in eBix. So full-fledgedly, it was more of onto the technical hiring of all the technical 𝗓s, be it AI, ML, .NET, Java. So these were all niche hirings. But then I just felt it so different about it that, the challenges were similar in when it was more of onto the BPO hiring, similar to it, vice versa, it is similar in the IT industry, it is even more. Why? Because the value addition and the kind of risk involved is more and very high, because the salary ranges are more exponential these days. So again, we are just facing a lot of challenges. However, the good part is that we do a lot of research and development into it. We just sail through, we just fell down and we just get up. So there are a lot of experimenting which are going on these days. And with this experimenting, there's a very firm need of a particular tool, as you mentioned it correctly, like OfferDecline, and also where it should hold a stop shop, gap wherein something needs to be addressed. So let's say there is a website resignation.com, or there are a lot of things which are there. However, there are certain things which are beyond control. So we have a very standard verbatim to the operations team. We always have a fight with them. We always have a stand-up call, a lot of review calls. We mention it like in the airlines. There's a small verbatim which is mentioned as no tickets, no fares guaranteed till ticketed. So we mention it, just the replica of it, no candidate guaranteed till onboarded. Finito. So nobody will say anything further on that. So that is something, the need of the hour, and we are still struggling. Trust me. So these kind of forum and sessions, I've even heard in a lot of other, people just adding in their input. So these are all key insights, and we are trying into do a lot of research and development to it. So this really helps. Trust me. And more we talk about, more and more we just move into the solutioning. Why? Because a lot of minds boggling into it, and this comes out of just like a pop of an idea, and then we definitely can just do better. Trust me, with the help of the technology, with the help of the database, with the help of inputs and the good practices being shared, we can do a lot of things. Trust me.
Definitely. So this is the same story of most of the organizations
Correct.
these days. So here my first question to you, Harsh, is how do you approach negotiations with candidates who have multiple job offers on the table?
See, how do we approach? So the negotiation with the candidates who have multiple offers, I have a very unique way of doing it, to be very honest with you. So let's say we make things more defined. So let's say if you are just starting the hiring, we have received the manpower requisite. So what we do from that time, we always ensure in with the operation folks, you have to be very specific on the count. So whatever the count is from the very root cause, we just take it 25 to 30% extra to that. So let's say the requirement is of 5 people. So we ensure in that the offer drop ratio would be 50%. So keeping the budget into mind, because we are a product-based company. So, the impact of the cost is more to it, because it's not about billable FTs. It's all about our in-house products. And we hire, and we do not have a bench system. We do not have a RMG team, resource management group. We hire in whenever we want to hire in people, and when exactly there's a requirement on live basis, so that it should not be that people are hired, they are sitting on bench, and there's a liability of paying it, and we are billing to the client. So product based holds in their own advantages, to be honest with you. So this is the best thing. So the offer negotiation or the offer part comes in from that very moment, wherein we ensure in whenever the candidate has been sorted and sought through or shortlisted. So from the very beginning, the call goes a little more. That means there are certain qualifying questions that the person fits into the JD, the criteria, the notice period isn't sorted. The longer the notice period is, the higher is the risk of offer drop or an offer decline. So just to curtail the same, so fortunately, unfortunately, we do not have a better reach to the candidates who may have a higher notice period of 3 months to 2 months. So we automatically do the fine tuning of it from the very beginning, that we handpicking people with 30 days notice period. So we just skip in and cater into the organization which are mid-sized startup or which are just early talent people that way. Now Other than this, what we do is we just make it very, very specific. The recruiters make this very, very specific to them, that if you have any offer in pipeline, if you are keeping warm with any other interview process, and also they are very specific about it. So they never negotiate on the current salary. Of course, let's say if a person has been hired with a experience category of 2 to 5 years, they are very specific about it, that this is their salary and this is their goal to achieve it. So they are very specific. So we ask them. So to be more prepared, we ask them that yes, if you have any offer in pipeline and all, and the this particular interview process is going to take 2 to 3 business days, automatically including in the first round of filtration, the assessment round of interview, the feedback sharing, everything. So we make it very, very precise from the very beginning. And we just create a window that for this, we have a certain budget and we can go with a certain amount of budget, which can be increased a little bit. So I'll give you an example. So let's say if you are hiring a resource with 2 to 5 years of experience, let's say in .NET. So what we do is we say that, our hiring budget is between 12 to 14 lakhs. Example, starting from 2 years to 5 years. So we define it from the top line to the bottom line. And the advantage to this is that, we park a higher amount of the budget and we negotiate with the candidate. So just in case if the notice period is high, maybe 30, 45 days or so. So for example, if you have received the approval of 10 to 12 lakh rupees, we have that extra 3 lakh rupees for the candidate and we negotiate with the candidate to get the higher amount of approval. And that negotiation starts from the very beginning. And this actually, helps in the candidate to hold that enthusiasm that this organization is talking about to me in such terms that it is more of a viable opportunity. Their intention is not to reject the candidate, but to select them. So there are a lot of tractions we give it to the candidate. So for example, before we start negotiating, we make sure that the candidate desired salary range and what we offer, is, more in sync with it. And on the respectful manner that, the candidate is in the position and the power. So it is important for us to always inform them in a timely manner that this is going to be the time frame and these are going to be the things which are, going to be there in the interview. So be prepared. What exactly is the job description like? A lot of candidates which comes in who do not know even about the job description. So we are very clear about our goals and what we are hoping to achieve by negotiating with the candidate. Are you looking to, get them into a prestigious project, or are you actually negotiating to just get them onto the on-site? So these kind of negotiations starts from the very beginning. So when the beginning is very clear and sorted, and we even just let them know that if the operation people try to ask you about the salary and all, just tell them that, HR is there to take care of it. At times what happens, I'll tell you, I'm just going off the track a little, that, even operations people, at times it happens that they prefer to consider or not to consider the candidate on a detected bias. It's a human psychology. If their current salaries are more than what they have been offered, to be honest with you. So we also make sure and we make the candidate prepared in such a manner. The recruiters are so smart that they just put them into such a hard sink of it that, no matter how hard they ask you, whatever it is, so make sure that you appear for the interview and just try to stay very strong. And these are the, certain bites of the full stack developer domain, and we are from the insurance domain. Likewise, they might ask you if you have any of the projects which you have done into insurance, talk about that. They might ask you about the programming and all. So that kind of infusion of that interest and that passion, which shows a lot of enthusiasm from the recruiter to the candidate, it creates that kind of a goodwill. And, they become more comfortable on that, the recruiter is taking so much of interest. Maybe if it is a passive candidate, so it regenerates that interest in the candidate. That company is putting the effort. So why don't I reciprocate in the same manner and get selected? Wow. So it gives that wow feeling. So negotiation start from there to hold a better brand value, to hold the sellable commodity of we being a product-based company. It's not about that we give the offer. Maybe there are few instances of the bad experience which they may have that the company might withdraw the offer. So we just hold an absolute stable format of all these things. And from there on, these negotiation tips start in. And the main idea is to build a rapport. And when building up a rapport, it creates an impression of the organization in the mind of the prospect or the candidate. And we ask them specifically that why are you applying for it? It's just for the heck of it, and is there anything? So they mention it that, I have not been challenged so far, that my skill sets are as good as it has not been used. So there are a lot of things. So my idea of talking about is that from the very beginning, from the very onset, try to build that rapport with the candidate so that it can be that, it would be one candidate, one offer, and automatically it can result into a least possibility of an offer decline and to a sure shot job. That is what I can tell you about this question, to
Yeah,
be
this
honest
is a
with you.
great, I absolutely agree. This is a great approach of, making things clear on a, very initial
At the
basis.
very onset. That's correct. That's correct.
Concept, yes, this is yeah, this is interesting. So could you share some of the challenges you have faced while navigating the offer shopping process and how you overcame them?
Absolutely. See, candidates may not be very transparent about their job offers. This makes it difficult to know what they're actually looking for in a job offer. See, to overcome this, we try candidates may be more likely to accept a higher offer, of course, even if it is not at the best fit for them. And we focus on selling the benefits to the company, the culture, and even if they are happy with it, so we are prepared to negotiate and give them a clear understanding, and we are very much transparent with the candidate about the company, the salary range, understand what they can expect from the company, whether or not it is, and if the candidate is interested in the company, we try to negotiate in the offer. Why? Because it is very important. So I'll give you an example. Let's say if a candidate holding up multiple offers, right? Now we ask them that when you have multiple offers, what is that, what your learning and your understanding has been? Have you been able to work on a particular product where you were just given end-to-end responsibility to develop it, to put your insights? So 95 to 97% of the time it happens that it is more of robust. They come to the office, they do certain things, they just log on to chat GPT, Bard or XYZ and all, they just copy the codes, they paste it, they troubleshoot it, and there is nothing exciting which they do, trust me. But we give them the real sense. And how we track them, we just tell them, you don't have to make a perception about the organization. 50 to 70% of it you come to know when you appear for the interview. Because when you appear for the interview, you challenge yourself technically. And when you challenge yourself technically, you can see who's sitting and who's asking the question at the other side of the people. And when you do that, the candidate who's actually interested and who has got that passion of a developer inside, that comes out. This company would be whatever it would be, but it has technically challenged me. So why not? What I have been doing all this while? So that introspection is very important. And these are few key insights. We tell them that this is a product-based organization, and we have a lot of opportunities on site. You learning things here, you unlearn a lot of things, and we give you this platform. And what exactly has been your understanding? How has been your interview experience? How good it was? Any ideas which you can give to improvise better or to just reduce the turnaround time of this interview? So we give them an equal participation of a question and answer. And it is not a one-way communication of holding up those typecast questions, what is your current CTC? What is that, what you're expecting? How soon you can join? Likewise, no. So other than typecasting, we ask them in a different manner. What is that you feel is so exciting and which is so unique in your resume, the kind of opportunity you may have given, the kind of project you have done? So let's say if somebody is quite excited, they just come up with that. Okay, I had a project which was more often to the full stack development, and it was more on the travel domain, or it was on the IT enabled side of the business, or maybe it was in the insurance domain. So we handpick and we try to sell that opportunity to the person, being a good salesman for that opportunity. Okay, you know what? We are a product based company. We have more than 32 line of businesses, and we have such blah 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 things. And just imagine that whatever you have done, you may not have got the opportunity there. But what if you are selected because there is no project defined to you unless you onboard, and after that the project is defined? So why don't we just put you into a travel project, and there you can just do so many things? So the person automatically start to get interested because we are talking about what he or she wants to listen. Second thing is we try to talk about those COVID times. So we try to let them know, okay, you know what, there are a lot of insurance benefits, there are a lot of health benefits which can actually help you. And the good part to this, I'll give you some example. This might sound a little funny. So we always let them know, if you take an insurance from outside, your pre or post medical condition may not be included, or maybe of your parents. But if you take a corporate insurance, it is a zero investment and you get insured. So just imagine you are holding up a value add and working for us. We take care of your family in the form of a health insurance which we are giving you. We have a lot of on-site, off-site opportunities for you. The challenges are immense, and there are a lot of, we have a knowledge process out to the group in which, we have a lot of exciting and challenging training. And we let them know that, if you may not have been certified, you can get certified in-house and with no cost, because we have certain quarterly or monthly or maybe biannual reviews. So it holds a lot of value add, likewise. So all these things holds up into a jumbled format of so many things that you do not allow the other person to have the opportunity to think anything else. So we overload them with a lot of things. So he or she says, okay, take a deep breath. I am absolutely fine, and I would look forward. And the other thing which we do is, trust me, this is a very good and a beneficial idea. Automatically on Truecaller, you have certain names which are there and it appears in if the number is not saved, right? Normally it happens. So what we have done, we have a fleet of around 72 recruiters who report into me overall Pan India and APAC. So with the help of Truecaller, we have taken services. So we register them with different consulting firms and all these things. So what we do is we ask them to do a dummy call before that, and they do a dummy call. Okay, you know what? There's an opportunity, and also, automatically triggers in that the candidate is about to or tentative to offer. So let's say if we are waiting for someone for a month or a half or maybe 2 months or so. So these dummy call really helps in. And we put in somebody from the banking and finance, somebody from IT, and also we do that. We have created those IDs. I don't know how ethical it would be, but this is something which we have done it. So 90 to 95% we have been able to, figure it out before something happens on real-time basis. And this exercise happens 15 to 20 days before the actual date of joining, because those are the real time wherein they have the counter offer and all the other competitive offers where the companies try to negotiate. And all you have to do is you have to bid in the highest to win that bid to have the candidate. No, it should not be the approach. Trust me. Why? Because you are making the candidate more demanding. It should be more value add, value centered. So we are not holding up, mercenaries that you come in, because the selling price should be more than the cost price. It's not that we are earning an amount of 10 rupees and we are offering an offer of 12 rupees to the candidate. That will not hold sustainability. Trust me on that. So we have to see through those things as well. Why? Because it's not about one candidate. You have to have a team of people and you have to see the cost to that as well. So when these things have been said through, so let's say if this exercise happens, we come to know about it. And then what we do is, without making the candidate, feel embarrassed about it, we just call up the candidate. And then, we use the veto power. What? Okay, we have given an X amount of, offer, as I mentioned to you, 10 to 15 lakhs, right? For example, that example which I gave you previously. So what we do is we say, okay, let's say that you have an offer of 12 lakh rupees. The candidate says yes. So what we do is, we are not asking you to enter into any kind of service agreement or a bond. We are not giving you any kind of early joining bonus. And what we sell is, early joining bonus is one-time money. It gets exhausted. So let's say you join, after 1 or 2, 3 months, it gets exhausted. So what is the value add in that you get the money and it gets exhausted? It's gone. So what we'll do is, we will put you this as an ARB. ARB means annual retention bonus. So first year you complete, you get 2 lakh rupees. So that means 12 plus 2 is how much? 14 lakhs. And from next year onwards, it will become a part of your fixed CTC. So what you're doing is, you're not holding a cost impact for the entire year, for which the candidate will be reevaluated for the performance appraisal, right? So the cost is 12 lakhs. Now, after completing 1 year in the organization, the candidate will get that lump sum amount, which will attract the candidate to stay in the organization, right? So he will get that lump sum amount of 2 lakh rupees. For that, he will surely stay. 2 lakhs is a big amount, right? And after completion of that 1 year, that amount will be added to the fixed CTC. So automatically, rather than giving any kind of performance appraisal, those 2 lakhs are getting to his fixed CTC as a value add. So he has got an appraisal of how much? 25 to 30%. So this is how it has been typecast and, showcasing, and the candidate gets super thrilled. Wow. So that is how it is. And trust me, it works. It really works. So
These are really very, very interesting strategies, and I'm sure whosoever is watching it, the recruiters and then there are many people from different organization can, really try to implement if the
hopefully, yes, I'm keeping fingers crossed. So if I
yes,
can help my
absolutely.
other colleagues in the industry, it feels so humbled. When you see that somebody else is stepping into your shoes, you feel so empathetic about it, but you hardly can't do anything. Why? Because you cannot intervene. So by these good practices, and I thank you and the entire team of this forum, that you have given the opportunity to those HR leaders to talk about it, because at times it happens that we, being a part of the organization, there are certain things we cannot talk about and we are not allowed. Trust me. But with these kind of forums, so I'm not saying we can just we are pouring our heart out, but yes, there are certain pain areas, and we can see that there are other people who have the similar pain area. So
Yeah.
when talked through, so we are just heading towards solutioning. So I'm very happy and excited, and I would definitely be stay tuned to see through that, what other people have to say. So this would be really good to know. Trust me.
Thank you so much, Harsh. So even after giving these interesting perks, in these interesting benefits, you might also be facing this interesting challenge that when any candidate declines the job offer at the last minute after the start date. So how do you handle such situations where a candidate declines a job offer at the last minute
So
or after a start date?
I'll be very honest with you. We feel very bad. We feel so disappointed. When there is something which happens, and automatically the recruiter comes into my room and just talks about it. And believe you me, I don't know if you would agree to this or not, but I agree to it. I mentioned to them that whatever anger which you have in your mind, just come inside and talk about it. Talk about it and say it right in front. Why? Because whatever remains in house is in house. We have to be absolutely respectful to the candidate, and we have to honor that decision, which is fine. However, as I mentioned to you, we have to figure it out from the very root cause rather than facing any challenges of escalation at this point of time. Of course, it happens. These kind of jitters happens, and this is more of a hand burn which we are doing, and we are knowingly doing it. So what we do is, I don't know what the other companies would allow to do so. So from the very onset, so we have a process. There's a requisite form which we call manpower acquisition form. So what we does is, so we have a parked budget. So I'll give you a very, very good example of our organization. So let's say when we get through the appraisal cycle. So let's say we have a certain amount of people. Okay, I hope I'm not boring you with this, but I'll let you know what I'm exactly associating this with so that you can relate to the question that would answer it. Now, when the appraisal happens, so there are a lot of people who accept the appraisal. There are a lot of people who declines the appraisal for an XYZ amount. So for the people who declines the appraisal and who make up their mind, we do not force them. We have certain retention policies, but still after that, nothing happens. But that money which comes in for the appraisal decline, so we park them. We park them here, and when that money which has been parked them with us, that acts as a buffer to us to be utilized further. So when that money has been parked in, so for any such situation, even if let's say my window is 12 to 15 lakh, if it is going overboard, so that money which has been parked in, we try to incentivize the candidate. How we try to incentivize the candidate? We try to customize the salary structure in such a manner that we say that we will give you certain perks and incentives over and above from that parked amount of money. So if you feel, I am not comparing your current offer with the other, because if the joining date is still far, you can come up with something else. So I cannot keep on betting on something, and cannot keep on saying something about it. So whosoever puts in the highest bet will win the bet. No, it's not about that. So we make them very, very precise about being very thankful about their decision or whatever it is. However, on the other hand, what we ensure to let them know is, in case if you feel that the opportunity given to you is not up to the mark, you always have that window and the door open. You don't have to go for the entire interview process. This offer is valid for 30 to 45 days. And if you feel there is anything, so you don't have to worry. We can definitely break the ice. You can feel free to get in touch with us. You can just mark an email. You can ping our recruiter, whichever forum you feel like, you can do that. And believe me, we call this program as homing pigeon for the candidates who have dropped the offer. Every 2 months, 3 months, we call them up. Seriously, why? Because these are our passive candidates who still hold the viability and a possibility to join. Because willingly, they may not come back to us. Why? Because normally the candidate has a tendency of not picking the calls, not answering to the emails and all. Due to XYZ reason, everybody has their own mature instinct. Now, what we do is to break the ice. We ensure that we are in recruitments. So nothing insults us. It's fine. It's okay. It's just that it has to be, the job has to be done. The work has to be done. It's not an insulting that they are not approaching and we are approaching out of our need. That's fine. It's okay. It's a part of our job. So we approach them, and believe me, we are out of 100 people. If these kind of circumstances happen, we have been able to churn up 30 to 40 to max of 50% of people who mentioned that they are initially things were fine. Lately, they mentioned that people have been put into other things and which was not a likely fit, and also this actually helps him. Second thing, what helps him is that comfort which we give them from the very beginning, from the very onset, and not holding up that jitter and not taking it personally that why are you doing that, not holding up any kind of argument to them. We appreciate your decision, we understand that. However, can you please let us know what is holding you back? It's just the money part, it's just the incentive part, it's the work part of what exactly it is, so that it can help into retrospect that if we are hiring for a particular line of business, lately or the next time what we have to do, we'll be more cautious about it. Other than this, the buffer acts really well. So we are very much prepared about the fact that if this candidate is going to drop the offer, we don't give the offer to the other candidate. We ensure him. So let's say if I have told the candidate that this is going to take 2 to 3 days or 5 days, we tell the other candidate that the entire interview process is going to take 15 days to a month's time, so that he or she will be hopeful about it. Because there are certain candidates, there are two type of candidates: who already has an offer, or who are applying afresh. So people who are applying afresh, so the chances are he'll be more likely to follow up with you. Why? Because that will be the first offer. And the candidates who already has an offer, so we have an advantage. So what we do is we give them the letter of intent. And when we give them the letter of intent, it does not have the salary annexure. We ensure that everything is done, and we give them the salary annexure in a PDF and a separate email that is non-editable. And in such a manner, with the help of an AI, I'll give you one more example, Dipti, if I'm just not stretching it long. We have a similar technology. Let's say there are encrypted messages on WhatsApp. So let's say if you send a photograph, you see to it and it will vanish, right? Likewise, we have taken such services that we send the annexure to the candidate, and the candidate will have a quick glimpse of it, and after holding up one view, it will vanish. He or she cannot, use this for any kind of offer shopping, and that is a part of letter of intent, not LOO, that is letter of offer. So we ensure this to the candidate. And when it is nearing to the date of joining, we convert them into an offer letter, so that that particular offer letter will not be used at any other place. So this sounds really exciting to the candidate, and they feel that they are making the best use of the technology, not to ensuring it they will not have any opportunity to be offer shopping or offer drop. So they very feel that you have trapped us. So what to do now? So at times it feels so frustrating for the other party, but in the other word, from the HR point, we are speeding faster than the candidate. We act a little more smarter than them. So that's how we have to do, and that's the need of the hour. Trust me. So I've given you few examples to it. There are many examples, but I just want to let you know the summarization of this is: if we equally use the power and tool of the technology, trust me, we can turn the tables down. Trust me, take my word for that. We can definitely do that. Seriously, I'm telling you. By connecting them on LinkedIn, seeing their activities, by connecting them on Twitter, not Facebook or Instagram, that would be too personal, but on the professional network. And believe me, if you are a connection to somebody, I don't know if it is a crime or a sin, you can track in the activities of a person who has liked anything or XYZ, unless or until there are certain, policies or privacy options which a person has put in. So this gives a 50% of the overview of a person, what all activities a person has performed, and it can actually give you that the person is the correct bite, that the person is an offer drop or can join and all. So there are a lot of things which you do, but I know it's a tough job, but we are very well prepared for this. Trust me, we are all ready, because we are in such a job. We have to do it. We will do it. Trust me.
These insights are really very helpful for many organizations and recruiters, and not only from how to handle this situation, but how we can, make the best of use of the technology in the
Correct,
hiring
correct, correct,
process.
correct,
This is
correct.
really interesting. So, Harsh, what do you think about this platform Offer Decline? So, does it really going to help the recruiters and organizations, or what are your thoughts about it?
Yes, I have 5 to 6 points. Can I? Because if I'll start, I'll go on. I know we have a limitation of time. First and foremost is it will give you that preparedness. I'll tell you why. Because you are putting yourself into a specific CRM or a particular platform which you're working on in an organization. But you will put a conscious effort that if you have a tool, so you will be always excited to know what this tool can do, how we can give the inputs to this particular tool and technology to customize and improvise as per our need. That is preparedness. Second point, I just want to specify, when we have this tool automatically. So let's say, I'll give you an example. I'm just making an assumption. So if there is a particular database which is created, that we have rolled out and given so many offers of those candidates, and we put in the similar database in this tool. So this particular tool will help us to track in all the activities of a particular candidate, and at the time when they are onboarding, they can just help us in the result driven approach, wherein it will actually help in that when we'll take this tool, it will actually help in such a manner that if we have this tool, we have a peace of mind that we have done our bit. So now it is not about that we are leaving anything and everything to destiny. No, it's not like that. We will also ensure in that we have an offer decline tool. If we have put in all the details, this particular tool will lately help us to track in why the candidate dropped the offer. Self-introspection, self-re-engineering of certain things, because nobody's perfect. We also need certain improvisations into things, and this will actually figure it out that which organization is offering what kind of salaries. So it will hold a competitive matrix, trust me, and what exactly we are lacking behind. This will actually help in more of a defined analytical approach, so that we can hold that preparedness and we are prepared and we are proactive. And other than this, this will also help in, see, nothing comes free in this world. So if this offer decline opportunity is given, so there is a value add and a money involved to it, right? Commercial involved to it. So when we will take these kind of services, what we would want is optimum utilization of these services, because there's a money involved, right? And the summarization to all these things is, when we get into all these kind of forums, so how it is benefited you as a host, right? You as a person who is taking this initiative, you will give in all the add-on benefits, right? All those inputs which is given from the industry leader to these people, so that they can customize this particular forum and this kind of tool in such a manner so that it is industry ready. Because at times it happens that there are a lot of tools and technology available in the market, but nobody is ready to customize it. 90% is not. Why? Because they have their own set parameters, they have their own protocols to follow. But when these kind of forums are there are a lot of add-ons, and there's always a space to improvise. So when all these things are put across, so they can see a company which is into IT enabled services, they have a different set of solutioning. When the company is into a different genre business, into edutech or into travel, healthcare, life sciences, so each genre of a particular organization, they have a solutioning which will be ready, and it will benefit us all, trust me. So that is what I want to tell you about it. So that's what I feel. I'm making a presumption about offer decline. I'm not very much aware of it, but this is my expectation. And there are a lot of takeaways from this. I mean, you can definitely share your inputs and your feedback on this.
Yes, definitely. I really appreciate your insights, and this discussion is very insightful, not only for me, but our audience as well. Thank you so much for joining us today, Harsh. This is very insightful, and I want to express my sincere gratitude to you for sharing this valuable expertise and insights on the challenges and solutions related to the candidate offer shopping. Your wealth of experience has provided our audience with invaluable knowledge and strategies to navigate this complex process. I also
Right. So more than you, I was more excited, about this session. I should talk, it's just that you're opening the floodgates and people are saying go. So like that. So it's good. In fact, and really thank you and your entire team for giving this opportunity and sharing such a wonderful platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harsh, for joining us today. Your insights and inputs will be very helpful for the recruiters. As we come to the end of this insightful discussion, I want to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed guest, Mr. Harsh, for sharing his valuable expertise and insights on the challenges and solutions related to the candidate offer shopping. Your welcome experience has provided our audience with invaluable knowledge and strategies to navigate this complex process. I also want to express my heartfelt appreciation to our viewers for joining us today. We hope that you found this interview informative and thought provoking, offering valuable perspectives on tackling offer decline in the recruitment process. Remember, at Offer Decline, we continue to strive towards creating a collaborative space where recruiters can share insights and overcome the challenges of offer decline. By working together and implementing effective strategies, we can optimize our recruitment process and achieve better outcomes for all parties involved. Finally, once again, I would like to encourage our audience to visit offerdecline.com, where you can explore further resources and tools that can assist you in addressing offer decline challenges within your organization. Thank you once again, Harsh, for your time and expertise. We genuinely appreciate your contribution to our interview series. And thank you to our audience for joining us. We look forward to bringing you more valuable insights and discussions in the future. Thank you.